Hello, my name is Kiara Quinlan, and today I'm going to be presenting Chapter 11 on oral presentations. There's certain things that you can do to make sure that you have a flawless oral presentation. Those things consist of planning your presentation, organizing your presentation, using visuals in your presentation, and delivering your presentation. But before I get into those things, what is the purpose of a presentation? The purpose of a presentation can be to report to your audience about an event or a project that's taking place, to explain on how to do a new process or procedure, to persuade the audience to accept an idea or an item, or to motivate, to get your audience to want to take action. Planning your oral presentation. This is the first step into making sure you have a flawless presentation. When you're planning your presentation, you want to decide whether you want to have an informal or a formal presentation. It all depends on what you're presenting and who you're presenting to. An informal presentation would be something like an impromptu where you're reading off the board, or a formal presentation would be something that you already know, a subject that you're strong on and you have memorized. In addition to that, when planning your presentation, you have to know your audiences. Let's say you have an international audience. If you have an international audience, you need to make sure that you use simple and clear language that they will understand. You want to talk slow so that they understand. If you speak too fast, especially to somebody who speaks a different language, they might miss a lot of the important things you have to say. You want to have a translator just in case they have questions that they need to replay back to you so that you can engage with your audience more. And you want to make sure you're very vigilant of their reactions, to make sure that y'all are all on the same page, that they're understanding what you're saying. And you want to include visuals. Pictures. Pictures are universal. Anybody can understand a picture regardless if they don't understand the actual words that you're saying. Which leads me to organizing presentations. When you're organizing your presentation, you want to make sure that you have an opening, a body, and an ending. When you're doing your opening, you want to make sure that your opening is something that is creative and it gets your audience's attention. You could do this by starting with a quote or a question, a fun fact, a story, anything to bring your audience in. Next, you want to work on your body. Your body of your presentation should be easy to follow in chronological order. It should flow easily and everybody should be able to, understand what you're talking about, go follow with the pace. And then lastly, the ending. When you're ending your presentation, you want to finish upbeat and strong. You want to summarize all your main points, make recommendations, wrap up everything so that everybody understands what you presented and you and the audience are on the same page. Using visuals. When you're using visuals, you want to present your points very clearly. You can do this by having a title slide, a main point slide, an agenda slide, so everybody knows exactly what they're looking at when you present something. You just don't want to have a bunch of random words or pictures and then everybody be confused, like, what is this? Having those title slides and main point slides is an easy way to present your points clearly and everybody make sure that they're understanding, what you're saying. That also goes into easy to follow. You want to make sure that, you're on the right pace, it's making sense, that you don't talk about things out of order so people don't understand. You want to make sure it's, easy to follow, everybody can understand what you're saying. And another thing you should do when using visuals is replace pictures with words. Nobody wants to look at a presentation that is just full of words, a whole screen. You're not going to want to read it. Your mind is going to shut out. You can easily replace some of those words with pictures that explain exactly what you're talking about. A picture can say 1,000 words. Videos. A lot of times when you're presenting, it's easy for people to lose focus, get off track, their minds start wandering, stop paying attention to the presentation. When you use videos, that is an easy way to grab the audience's attention while staying on topic with the presentation. And lastly, you can use handouts. After you have done your presentation, You can make physical handouts about what you have done so that people can have a literal takeaway from your presentation. Delivering your takeaway. Finally, when you're finally time to deliver your presentation, you want to make sure that you practice. Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. When you practice your presentation, you can make sure you have appropriate language, use a good voice, your posture. You want to have conversational tone and natural gestures. This is not good for a presentation. You should be more formal in a way that you intrigue your audience, make them show your audience that you're serious about what they're saying, so they take what you're saying in your presentation seriously. You want to dress appropriate, keep eye contact, and remain calm and regroup if you lose focus. If you have anxiety, there's a few things that you can do, like practice. If you practice, 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 you'll be less anxious because you already know what you're going to say. You can think positive, just relax. You know this, you know what you have to say is important, so don't let your emotions get the rest of you. Just relax. And finally, you can respond to questions and feedback. If people have any questions that you think that they might have prior to your presentation, you can address questions that they might have so you can be prepared just in case the audience has anything. All of these will prepare you to have a flawless presentation. So what have we learned? When planning presentations, make sure you know the context your audience will be delivering. When organizing presentations, make sure you have a strong opening body and ending. Visuals are important to keep the audience's attention, and practice makes perfect. Practice, 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 and I promise you'll have a flawless presentation. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can email me